Wait, I can't.
Oh, hi. Maybe it's just going to be you and I. No, that's not funny. No, it won't be just you and I. It'll be you and I and about 500 of our closest friends.
Yes.
No pressure. Oh my gosh, is that a dog kennel in the background?
Yes, I have 3 dogs.
What kinds?
I have a golden doodle, a mini labradoodle, and a Yorkie Bichon.
Have you always been a dog lover?
Yes, always.
Me too. This is my first French bulldog round though, for sure. I've always had big dogs. This is my first small dog experience.
Yeah, I have all sizes.
I love it. I love it. Well, if you keep adding dogs, I don't know that you're going to have room for kids.
I know. I can't get any more.
We're going to be neighbors soon.
I know. I'm so excited.
I know. We get to hang out and go to breakfast or have coffee.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So why people are saying they can't. Chad and Jerry are like, hello, sisters from another mister. That's funny. Okay, so do you want to message Emily and...
Yeah, I'll text them right now.
I like them making a what do you call that? What do you call coming in late but being like a grand entrance?
She said she's on, but she can't see you.
Did she?
Or I can't see her. I don't think you could see her either.
I can't, yeah. Did she use the same link that was sent to her through email, ask her?
Let me make sure.
Okay. It says 3 panelists. Emily. Oh, there's Emily! Yay! So she's good. Now we just got to find Nayara. See if I can find her on here and somehow change her status. But you guys logged on through the links you were sent, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me see. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, pretty lady.
I forgot we had to use the email one. I did like the regular one.
That's okay. Nayara, I'm so glad you came with your hair in a ponytail. Like, you never know what you're going to get with me when it's past 9:30.
I put a little bit of makeup on because I was like, okay, I need to look a little bit presentable today.
Oh, man, good thing I have eyelashes. It makes up for it. Emily, you fooled me on Snapchat the other day. I thought you were a Frenchie mama.
I know. They're Nicole's.
That's all right. That's all right. You can get one too. There's plenty of Frenchies. Well,
I'm trying to decide on what dog I want, and it's the hardest decision ever.
Ooh, what are you picking between?
I really want... So I'm thinking like a golden doodle or a labradoodle, but it's hard. It's so hard.
It is hard. I know. And if you could say any words of wisdom to her, Cassie, since you have 3, what would you tell her?
Just to do it.
You guys, I remember I got my first Frenchie and I had her for almost a year and I was contemplating getting my second Frenchie and someone was like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Like, you've got 1, you don't need 2. And I'm so glad. It's like having kids. Every time you have more, you would never put one back. All right, ladies, it is top of the hour. This is a packed house. We're already recording. And I just have to say, I've been looking forward to this since we talked a couple weeks ago. All right, so you guys, tons of background noise. So I would say just be like careful if you're moving around and doing things to either mute yourself. I'm going to start with Cassie. So Emily and Nayara, you guys can totally mute yourselves. I can tell Cassie's ready and raring to go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You guys, I'm so excited. Welcome all of our It Works family that are on with us tonight. Y'all don't even know what's about to happen. We kind of kept the topic very vague, and there's a reason for that. I feel like these 3 women, and we are missing one of the gals that was going to join us tonight, but we'll keep that all a secret because we'll have her on another time. She was under the weather tonight, so we're going to just rock and roll with the group that we have. But y'all, this group is blowing it up. I mean, they are quiet, and they are working. Their heads are down, they are focused, and there are no distractions for this team. And I had the privilege of spending about an hour with each of them about 2 weeks ago. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, will you guys please do a Zoom with me? Will you please do a Zoom, share your fire? And here's what I can promise each of you, because I kind of had to twist all of their arms. Emily, a little less. Emily had already been groomed a little bit for this. I think Aspen had been working on you, Emily. But I was like, I promise it's going to be like the four of us are just sitting in a living room together, just having a chat. But I know that when you speak up, your income goes up. And I remember each of you said this to me. When you saw Jade face her fear of public speaking and being around a lot of people, it inspired you. It inspired you, and you guys were just excited to be a part of that team and know she was so far outside of her comfort zone. I'll tell you, there's something attractive about people pushing outside their comfort zone, isn't there? It's contagious for sure. So I'm going to start by just having each of you introduce yourself. And Cassie, I'm going to start with you, okay? So Cassie, who are you? Like, who are you?
I'm Cassie Westlund. I'm 23 years old. I'm originally from...
Oh, wait. How old are you?
23.
23, okay. Yes. Just my age. It's my age.
I'm originally from Connecticut, and I just moved to Sarasota last August. I've been with the business for a little bit over 3 years now. Last month was my 3-year mark. And I'm ambassador. I went ambassador exactly 1 year ago in May. Do you want me to go on with my story too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I joined when I was 20 years old. At the time, I was a broke college student. I was working like 3 part-time jobs. I was a bartender. I was a babysitter. I worked as a receptionist, and I cleaned on the weekends with Spencer, who's my husband now, boyfriend at the time. And at the time, we lived together. So we had rent and real bills to pay. So life was tough. Like, we were always working and always, not having enough to pay the bills. He didn't go to school at the time. He was doing like manual labor, working all these types of jobs. So we were just kind of always struggling. And then I saw a girl posting on my Instagram about It Works. I think I watched for probably about 3 months. I became a customer, but then literally a week after becoming a customer, I joined as a distributor, and I ran like right away. Like, me and Nayara joined like right around the same time, and we had a lot of people, putting us down in the beginning. We were kind of the laughing stock of our town. We had a lot of naysayers, and that really motivated us to prove people wrong and really keep working. At the time, the $1,000 Ruby bonus was being offered, so I was running like right away. The first month I went Ruby and I got the $1,000 bonus. The second month I went Diamond, got the $10,000 bonus. And then my third month in, I went double Diamond and got the $15,000 bonus. And then 10 months in, I went triple Diamond. And that was like a huge turning point, because that was when Spencer quit his jobs, I quit all my jobs, and we were doing this full time together. And we were able to move into a new apartment, and really life was just good. And then about a year later, we went presidential. And then 5 months after that, we went ambassador. So it happened super, super fast. It Works completely changed our lives. I dropped out of school. I didn't even end up finishing. But that really motivated me to keep pushing, because this is where I felt at home. Like, I never felt passionate about anything else in life. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I kept changing my degree. And when I found It Works, like, this is what I really wanted to do. And that definitely kept pushing me. Since then, we paid off so much debt. We moved to Florida last August. We came for green carpet, and I've always wanted to move somewhere down south. And then when we came for green carpet, we just decided to sign a lease and move. So that was like super spontaneous. But actually just a couple weeks ago, we just started the process of building our first house, and it's actually going to be our dream house. So that's kind of like the short story of like where we've been the last 3 years.
What a whirlwind. I feel like just what a whirlwind. Well, number one, congratulations on building your dream house. I just want you to know it's your dream house right now. Like,
I know.
Like in 2 years, you'll be in it and you'll go, this was our dream house, babe.
I was thinking that.
I'm dreaming bigger, I remember when we built our dream house and paid cash for a $500,000 pool. And now it's no longer my dream house. I'm thinking to myself, I mean, that's good. It was a good start, but I'm excited to watch you continue to blossom. Okay, I have to go back a little bit. You were 20 years old when you joined this business. I thought I was brilliant for joining at the age of 26, and yet if I could have joined by the age of 20, and I could have, I was introduced to the business by the time I was 20, but I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't open to it. What drew you to It Works? What made you say yes?
I mean, just the girl that was posting about it. Like, I've seen posts from It Works before, but the way that she posted it was so inviting, and it made the opportunity look so amazing. I really had nothing to lose. I was super young. I needed the money. It was just kind of a spur of the moment type of thing.
Okay, so when you say it was really inviting, explain that to me. Tell me some of the things you saw that just drew you in.
So at the time, she had just had a baby, and she was able to stay home with her baby, and her life posts were super genuine. I previously had known her from high school, so like I knew like she wasn't scamming me. So it wasn't like a complete stranger. But I had watched for a while too. It wasn't like I saw a couple posts and joined right away. It took me like 3 months of really watching. I would stalk her page every single day. But something like kept pulling me towards it. And it was definitely God like telling me like, you need to try this. And when I jumped in, I just went full force. I saw the vision right away, and I just never stopped.
Did you get to an event? Like, how did you see the vision right away? What, like, explain that to me.
I don't know. I don't know if it was like the bonuses in the beginning pushing me, or just like addicted to like enrolling and promoting. But I didn't get to my first event till that conference, which was not till the following year. I joined in April, so I didn't go to my first event until the following February. So it was definitely a while. But just plugging into like Zooms and seeing other people's stories like really helped me really believe what this company was all about.
That is so awesome. All right, well, stand by because I got more questions for you, but
Okay.
I'm going to move it on over to Nayara because you were the first one of all three of these ladies I got the chance to speak with on the phone, and I fell in love right away. Nayara, I know one of my friends said right from the beginning, it was like, I follow everything Cassie does. We do everything together, and she joined and I joined right behind her. Tell us a little bit about who you are and why you said yes to It Works.
Okay, so my name is Niala Ribeiro. I'm from a small town here in Connecticut. I joined It Works when I was 19 years old. I am now 22. My 3-year mark was last month too. So my story is very similar to Cassie. So she joined. 3 days later, I joined. I literally had no idea what I was doing. She was just like, I'm doing this. You're broke. You have to join with me too. So I did. I borrowed the $99 from my parents, and, you know, life was so different 3 years ago. I was working 2 jobs, actually working at one of my jobs. I was working with Cassie at the salon we were receptionists at, and I was going to school full time. I hated school. I literally like never knew like what I wanted to do. I just went to school because it's just like, you know, something we have to do. And I was just going through the motions of going to school, working, you know, never having money to do anything, literally the definition of a broke college student. So can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I joined, and, you know, I went full force. Like me and Cassie were ignorance on fire. We had no idea what we were doing, but we knew we just wanted more out of life than what we were at right now. So, you know, 1 month in, I went Ruby. I got that $1,000 bonus as well, just because that was kind of like my thing. I was like, if I can go Ruby, like, and make $1,000, that's like the most money I would have ever seen in my bank account. I was like, that was the goal for me. To be honest, like, I joined and like, I didn't really see like me really being successful at this, but I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to get that $1,000 bonus and I'm going to be good. And then I went Ruby, and I was like, you know what, like, this is easy. Like, all I have to do is post on social media, just like I am every single day anyways, and just talk about the products and the business opportunity with others. And that's what I did. I kept doing it over and over again. So 1 month in, Ruby. 2 months in, I went Emerald. My 3rd month, I went Diamond and got that $10,000 bonus. And that for me was a turning point. You know, thankfully for Cass, like, she had always seen the vision, like, since the beginning. Like, not that I hadn't seen it yet. I think that I just didn't truly believe in myself and like what I was capable of doing, you know, but her seeing the vision so quickly and so fast is like what kept me motivated and kept me going. So 3 months in, I got the $10,000 bonus, and I was able to quit both of my jobs and do this full time. So I've been full time since July of 2015. You know, and then I went to conference in February of 2016. That month I left, my team and I, we went double diamond. We got the $25,000 bonus. And a month later, I went triple and I got the $50,000 bonus. And then a year later, I went to conference of 2017. and I promoted to Presidential Diamond, and I got the $100,000 bonus. And, you know, I just remember going to my first conference and seeing people on stage as the top 50. And I'm like, wow, like if only I can get there, you know, a couple years in, you know, like that was like my dream. That was like something that I really wanted to accomplish. And it was literally surreal to walk the stage as top 37 this past February. It was just something that like, it was just an aha moment for me, because you know, someone like me who went to school, like had bad grades, literally had no direction in life, you know, 3 years in can do this in this business. It just shows that anyone can do this, you know, and life is just so different now. Like I live on my own. I help my parents so much every month. You know, I give back to church. You know, life is just different, and it's crazy to even think where my life is now compared to where it was and where it would be if I hadn't joined It Works.
Oh my gosh. You guys give me chills from the top of my head to the tip of my toes. I think of how many people on with us tonight. By the way, we're over 700 people. How cool is that? You guys are inspiring 700 people tonight. I hope you know how powerful your story is, how your work ethic is inspiring. And it's like the 4-minute mile, right? Nobody thought it was possible till somebody did it. And I'm watching the chat room right now going, oh my gosh, she's 22. I'm 22. And I'm like, yeah, she started when she was 19. Like, you know, people ask all the time, if you could do anything different, if you were starting over today, what would it be? I was like, I would have started sooner. And I would spend more time, like hands down, I would spend more time building this business. Well, in the middle of June, when Mark announces everybody's numbers, I can promise you this little posse is going to be very excited. So everybody watching our Zoom tonight, follow this little troop and see what they announce after Mark announces those numbers, because I think it's going to blow their minds just as much as it inspires the rest of us. So Emily, I don't want you to think we're not coming to you. We got to hear from you. And you're all over Snapchat too, by the way. I've been watching you.
Oh boy. Oh gosh, what am I posting? I'm like, what did I post?
No, I'm just getting to know you through Snapchat. It's been fun. No, but Emily, tell us about you and why you were drawn to It Works.
So my name's Emily Wirsing. I'm 23 and I'm from Connecticut. Ironically, joined Cassie, complete stranger, saw one post. Seriously, it was honestly, God is real. I cannot believe it. She lived 15, 20 minutes away from me. Stranger, saw one post from her, didn't even know what MLM was, and I texted her and joined right on the spot. It was the weirdest thing ever. I don't know. It's crazy. But anyways, I joined at the end of October 2015. I have some sinus stuff going on, guys, so that's why I sound like I sound. Anyways, and my story's definitely very different than Cassie and Nay's, for sure. I mean, I was somewhere in La La Land for like 7 or 8 months, but it's kind of funny because I wanted it and I always wanted it and I always put in work, but my mindset was just not there whatsoever. God bless Cassie, because I don't know how she dealt with me at all. I was super negative all the time, like all of the time for 8 months. So I guess, you know, I just, more than anything, I feel like the game changer for me was life. Like I was really scared because I had less than a year left of college. I had no plan. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to help people and I knew I wanted to make a lot of money. I never wanted to struggle ever in my life, because just growing up, I just had enough of it already, even at a young age. So one day I was like, all right, I see Cassie doing this. I see Nay doing this. I see them, you know, checking off all these goals, cars, whatever. They're buying off their dream board. And I'm like, if they can do it, so can I. And it was just a flip of a switch. That's really it. So I made my dream board for the first time ever after, like, you know, putting it off. And it was history from there. I studied abroad in July. So like 8 months in, 7 or 8 months in, and I feel like that was a really big aha moment for me, because I realized that I got like an international plan, and although I was only there for a month and a half, I was still pushing for diamonds. So I was just committed, and I just realized that I can travel and do this business at the same time. And I was like, wow, what? That's like unheard of. You don't hear that stuff. So I came back in the middle of August from Amsterdam, and then I promoted to diamond in September, double November, triple February, and then presidential July. So I did earn bonuses along the way for each rank, of course, which was amazing and very motivating as well. But yeah, it's just crazy. Once, just after those 8 months, I say God bless all the time that I did not give up, because it is a long time, 8 months of pushing and just like being so lost and confused. But, you know, that's where God comes in again, and just, you know, that's what I just think back all the time. Like, what if, you know, but yeah, that's really it.
Oh my gosh, I just thought of something, you guys. I've been reading articles a lot about women in business, entrepreneurs and executive women in corporate America. And I read an article today that talked about why are there not more women executives in corporate America? You know, and just about leveling the playing field, and how can we give them an equal opportunity, and why this, why that. And I literally just thought right now, as I was hearing from all of you, number one, network marketing gives women a level playing field. There's nobody that can hold us back. There's nobody that can tell us how quickly we can move, how far we can go, and what we got to do to get there. I mean, the average is even the women who do get to those higher levels, you know, it takes longer than it takes longer than you know, men do, heavily, you know, more than us. And so I was just thinking about that. I was just sitting here listening to your stories. You guys are so stinking inspiring. And I want you to know that we talk about all the time, MLM, network marketing, direct sales. It levels the playing field for education. It levels the playing field for just talents and backgrounds. But I just realized for women in business, it levels the playing field for us, and the sky's the limit. And there is no, you know, we're not held to a time limit. We're not held to gender biases. We're free. We're free to go out there and work our butts off and write our own paychecks and write our own stories. And you guys are doing that, and you're inspiring so many people. Oh my gosh. All right, Cassie, I'm coming back to you, because what is one mistake you made that others could learn from? If you were talking to a person today, what's a mistake that they could learn from that you've made?
So back when I was triple diamond, life was really good. We were able to move into a new apartment. Like I said, we bought a new car, and we were paying off debt. And that's probably like the only rank where I felt comfortable for maybe like a little hot second. And, you know, life was good. $10,000 a month. Like, that was amazing at 21 years old at the time. And I remember I said to Emily once, like, I almost felt guilty of wanting more or making more, even though I wanted more. And she like made a joke saying, you need to do more self-development. And I snapped out of it, but I feel like that's like a big thing for most people. Like, they feel like they're either not worthy of it, they can't achieve it, or they're just guilty of wanting more money. They feel like greedy in some way. And I felt that way for like a moment, but I realized that like, that's not how this works. Like, God wants us to live in abundance. Like, it's okay to want more and to have it all, because the more that I was able to make, the more that I have made, the more I've been able to help others and give back. Now I give back every single month, way more beyond my tithes. I'm able to help my family. I give my grandma money every single month. And I was never able to do that before. It works. And obviously, the more money I make now, the more I can do for my family and my future family and for the rest of the world. So, and I know what this compensation plan can pay. So it makes me really, really excited. I'm definitely never going to get comfortable ever again. And I know the sky's the limit with It Works. I know that I'm going to make $1 million a month with It Works.
So if I could summarize that for everybody listening, y'all, she had to get like serious about her personal development. She had to raise the lid off her mindset of what she thought was possible and what she felt she personally could achieve or was worthy of. And you guys, personal development does a number of things. Number one, it opens our awareness to what we can do, but it also opens our awareness to why not me and why not now? You know, I'm no different than other people having success. And, Emily, that leads me to my next question, which I'm throwing you through a loop here because I didn't give you the heads up on this, but I know it'll naturally slip off the tip of your tongue. You guys are personal development junkies. Like, all three of you talked about how seriously you take personal development, and I love that. I swear sometimes the only reason I became a teacher is because it paid me to continue to learn, you know? So Emily, if Cassie's saying one of the mistakes she made was just the worthiness feeling and could she do more, what do you do to make sure that's never a question that you have for yourself? What's some personal development tips you can give us?
So, I mean, I say this to everyone, and I admit to everyone that I personally struggle with anxiety and depression all the time, and I know I am not alone. So I tell people all the time what I go through and what helps me get through it, and 100% in self-development and prayer for sure. So, I mean, I am constantly self-developing 24/7. Like, I am a self-development junkie. Like, from the morning till I go to bed, I just have to, or my mind is going to go in places where I know I don't want it to go, but it just does its thing, unfortunately. So I'm just consistently listening to things. So I don't read because I want to work at the same time, although I should read, but I just don't. I have like the audiobook app. I use another app too if I can't find a certain book on there. And I'm just listening all the time. I mean, I go from books to even like documentaries or on YouTube. I studied psychology in college, so that's just something I personally connect with a lot. So I'm consistently just learning, how our minds work and why do I feel this way? And that's why, like, when Cassie said, when she mentioned that to me, I was like, girl, come on. Like, you just need to, like, self-develop your mind. Like, you can make all the money you want. You just have to look at it a different way. And that's something that's so important. So, I'm just consistently self-developing all the time. And I'm just someone who needs that personally, but everyone is different.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Emily, like, I'm hearing you say that, and just a little bit ago, you were talking about how negative you were, and how Cassie had to
right.
a product of personal development. Oh my gosh. Who's your favorite person you follow? If you're not reading books, who are you listening to? What is it?
So Tony Robbins is like, if you want someone to like almost freak you out kind of deal, like if you cannot understand why or what or when or who, if you're just like confused, like Tony Robbins is insane. He's on my dream board. I cannot wait to go and see him in person. I will pay whatever to see him, but he is so amazing. So if anyone is like really into the psychology or has like, the anxiety or depression or any like mental whatever going on, you guys get it. It's confusing. Tony Robbins is insane. And then if you more like business side, sales side, 10xing, Grant Cardone, 100%. He is amazing. And that is him, between him and Tony Robbins all day, every day, for sure.
All right, so you guys, in case you didn't hear that, she said 10xing, because I had to ask him multiple times when they said it. I was like, excuse me, what language are you speaking? What are we doing? 10xing? Is that like getting down and doing push-ups and jumping to the sky? I didn't know if it was like insanity or what. But no, it's called 10xing, and it's on YouTube, and it's Grant Cardone. Yeah.
So one of his books is the 10x rule, and then the next book is Be Obsessed or Be Average. So those are the two they're game changers. Like,
oh my gosh, if you guys had a team name, it should be Obsessed or Be Average. Like, that should be the team name, because all three of you embody that. I met Brittany Grimes in Boston this last weekend, and she too fits the mold for the team and the business that you're building. Oh my gosh. All right. So Cassie, before I take it over to Nayara, because I got a couple questions for her, do you have any personal development you want to add to what Emily said?
I love The Secret. So that was a big thing for me when I first started, because I never knew how powerful my thoughts and my mindset was. So especially for a new person, I would definitely watch that. It really hit home with me and definitely changed everything about my life.
Okay, I love it. And you guys have heard me talk about The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And for those of you that have taken the challenge to listen to that every morning for the 30-day cycle, it will change your life. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. All right, Nayara, I'm coming to you, my friend.
Okay.
All right, so share with us one of the biggest mistakes you've made so that we can learn from it and avoid that pothole.
Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes I made, Cassie actually reminded me of this today. So we made dream boards when we were maybe 2 months in. Cassie was getting me all hyped up. Like, you know, like I said, she was like caught the vision and she was trying to get me to cast it too. So we made dream boards, and I remember that now that she reminded me of this, that I didn't reach a couple of my goals on that dream board. So what I did is I put the dream board away. And I like hid the dream board, and I didn't keep it in sight anymore because I didn't reach the goals that I wanted to on there. And I think one of the biggest things is not doing that, because, you know, maybe if I hadn't put it away, or, you know, I would have been farther along like back then. But that goes back to what I was saying when I was sharing my story. Like, I had a hard time a little bit like believing in myself, even though I was seeing the success super fast. It was weird. You know, obviously my mindset wasn't right too. I had to watch The Secret and like learn more about being positive and believing in the journey I was in. But, you know, that was a big thing, that I hid the dream board just because I hadn't hit a goal or I hadn't accomplished one of the things that I had on there. And that was huge, because her reminding me of that today, like, makes me think of like, wow, like dreaming and having a dream board is so important, because, you know, it keeps you on track with your goals. It keeps you working. Like, when you dream, it helps you move forward. It helps you work towards something. And, you know, that was a big aha moment for me today, because I was like, wow, that was one of the biggest mistakes I probably made in the business so far.
Hey, I love that. I remember Shelly Hyde made her first dream board and then put it up in her closet way up in the top, and 3 years later pulled it down, and everything on it was accomplished. And I just think you guys have no idea what you're setting in motion when you make that dream board. I make my kids do it. They may call me crazy right now, but they'll look back one day and be like, Mom, they literally make fun of me because I make them visualize before every baseball game, basketball practice, gymnastics routine, whatever the case might be. And when they struggle and they come out of it and they're frustrated, I say, did you visualize? Did you visualize you having success? Did you visualize yourself making the clear ending and landing on both feet? Did you visualize yourself winning? Did you visualize the crowd cheering? Did you visualize when you gave your ambassador speech that you got a standing ovation in the crowd at the Amalie Arena of over 20,000 people? You guys, visualizing is such an incredible, part of your success, because your mind doesn't know the difference between your visualization and reality. It doesn't. And so it just pulls you towards it. Oh my gosh, we can go on and on about that. Yeah. That's why you should all be following my podcast, because I did one on visualization, but now you guys are going to be on my YouTube and everybody gets to learn from you forever. All right. So Emily, did you have any mistakes you wanted to share? I forgot to ask you that question.
I mean, mine is, I feel like, pretty obvious. My first 7-8 months, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I don't even look at it as a mistake, honestly, because if that didn't happen, I would not be where I am today, 110%. Like, I know that already. So, I mean, I wish I joined sooner, of course, but I also have never seen a post ever. So the first one that I saw, I was like, I jumped right in. So I knew this was for me. But like I said, just the first 7 or 8 months with me trying to figure things out. But I feel like that meant to happen almost.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Your journey is your journey, right? And one of my favorite quotes is, you did what you did when it was all you knew, and now that you know better, you'll do better. And so it's hard to live in the past and live in regret when we need to look forward and decide how we're going to, move forward and change the course of our direction. So I love that. All right, Cassie, I'm coming to you again. Can you believe we're doing this together? You guys didn't even tell me no. And I've asked a few of you to be on stage before, and you've all told me no. You've been like, no, thank you. And I'm like, excuse me, what? You're like, no, I'm just going to stay in my lane and keep working, and oh my gosh, this is like a dream board for me tonight. Okay. So Cassie, what is one thing you attribute your success to, or one thing that's just really working right now?
Okay, well, I was going to say, like, from the beginning, because I dropped out of college, like, I didn't have another plan B. Like, once I decided, like, this is what I wanted to do, like, I ran with it, and I never slowed down. I never took breaks, because I had that sense of urgency inside of me. Like, I had to make this work no matter what. So because I had that, like, constant fire inside of me, like, I have to do this or else I'll be like homeless. I feel like that's been pushing me since day one. And obviously like making bigger goals and bigger dreams, when you reach them, you always have to dream bigger, set a bigger goal and go after that, because you just can't get comfortable. So I think the biggest thing is just not getting comfortable and always setting a higher standard for yourself for income, and just doing more. Like we never take breaks. Like we're always working. I fit this business into my everyday lifestyle, no matter if I'm home or if I'm out and about, I'm always working. Like I went to Disney last month for a few days and I was still messaging and posting and signing up customers from Disney. Like I didn't just take a break because I was in Disney. So I'm always doing this. First and foremost, no excuses. I'm always leading by example. And I feel like that in itself has been like the number one thing. And obviously my team all does the same thing. Like they're all just as amazing and they enroll, if not the same, if not more than me. So
did you hear my live earlier on the Lifers page where I was talking?
Some of it.
I said the same thing. I was like, it's Memorial Day weekend. It doesn't mean like you leave your business at home, because the beauty of this is we take it everywhere. And the best part is when we take it everywhere, you run into that next diamond, because they're watching you live this dream life, and you can give them the vehicle that helps them do the same thing. You know, this isn't just like something they've been saving for 10 years. You do this like every other month, right? And so you can give them a vision for what's possible. But you're absolutely right, Cassie. And I'm just going to make a plug. You guys, this Memorial Day weekend, don't leave home without your samples. Don't leave home without your Blitz cards. Make sure you have an It Works shirt or some sort of accessory for every day, because you're going to be around new people, whether you're going to the lake or the beach or whatever it is that you're doing. Post about your paycation or, you know, paid for by. I love when women are showing a date night paid for by their It Works business versus their husband's professional job or whatever the case might be. I mean, you guys get creative. Pop fat fighters, drink your greens. I love all of our cups and stuff that you can constantly be drinking out of. You know, there's no excuse why you can't take your business and create opportunities with everything you do all weekend long. And so, and then another thing you say over and over, Cassie, and I don't even know if you realize you say it, but you don't ask your team to do what you're not willing to do. And your team actually knows what to do because they watch you. So if y'all decide to go on Memorial Day weekend and you don't talk about your business, you don't wear your business, you're not a Blitz card for your business, guess what? Your team isn't going to either. They're not going to give more than you give. That's called the law of the lid. That's one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And it's a law. So if you're not doing it, you cannot expect your team to do it. If you're not giving 100%, don't be mad when they're giving 99. If you want them to give 100% of their time, then you better be maxing, matching, or surpassing the effort that you're asking from them. So thank you for that, Cassie. We always need a good kick in the butt when it comes to that. Nayara, how about you? What is one thing that you would attribute to your success?
The one thing I would say is not giving excuses. You know, I think it was 3 months into the business, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was probably like one of the hardest trials that we went through as a family. You know, super healthy, none of that in our family. It's not hereditary, you know. So for us, it was really hard to deal with, you know, and that was like a big thing for me, because right then and there, I could have just put my business on the back burner and said, you know what, right now I need to just focus on my mom and I need to be with her. And I was more than I ever would have been, because I actually, when we got the call, if it weren't because of It Works, I would have been at work that day that we got the call from her doctor, you know. So it just it was like a good aha moment for me, because then it reminded me, you know, if I didn't work so hard in this business, I wouldn't be able to, you know, do this now full time and be with her. You know, every doctor's appointment, like hospital visits, during her surgery, I was there right after. So for me, like the biggest thing is no excuses. Like no matter what happens in life, like still work your business, because life will always happen. You know, within the last 3 years, I've been through so much life, whether it's like family, health, friends, everything, you know, life happens. But my business like comes first. Well, God always comes first, but my business is right after. And, you know, everyone knows that in my family and my friends and my boyfriend. And it's just changed everything for me, because if it hadn't come first and if I didn't, you know, if I made excuses for it, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Oh my gosh, I love exactly what you're saying. And, you know, something I always say is it's not a matter of if life is going to happen to you, it's when and how often. And I'm sorry to break the news to everybody here. I'm certainly not an Eeyore type personality like, oh boy, what's going to happen today? But I'm just saying life happens, and nobody joins a business because they're like, oh, life is going to happen and I need a plan B or I need a residual income. But because you do this business, whether it's a part-time thing or a full-time hustle, it's going to be your business that bails you out in some of the toughest times financially, but also time freedom, a support system. Oh my gosh. Like when I'm hitting rock bottom in my life, it's my It Works family that I call, and they're there for me every single time. And so you guys, it's going to be your It Works family that helps you through some of the toughest seasons of your life. And, you know, I just have to say that, you know, if you were punching a time clock and your mom gets breast cancer, they don't say, I'm sorry, you don't have to come to work. We're going to keep paying you.
Yeah, no.
And so for us to make excuses and act like we're just going to like sit at home and cry, that's not going to make it better. As a matter of fact, it's going to make everything else worse. And it's going to be this support system and this group of people. And, you know, I think sometimes we can feel very like this, I'm the only person stuff like this is happening to. But when we stay plugged in, we realize that we're not the only person, and that we are going to get through it. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm so glad you brought that up, Nayara, and thank you for sharing that. I'm really sorry.
No problem.
How's your mom doing right now?
Oh no, she's good. This was like right when I first joined, 3 months in. She's good now. She went through surgery. We caught it super early. So she's been cancer free for about 2 years now. Praise
God. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Emily, how about you? What do you attribute your success to, or what's working for you right now?
I feel, it's funny because I've been trying to think about like an exact answer this whole time. But I feel as if, I don't know, like for me, I feel like it's almost so basic that it's not going to make sense. And it's just life in general, you know, my upbringing. You know, I'm so close with my family, but, you know, my parents are divorced and they went through divorce when I was like 9 or 10. So I saw it all. You know, just my mom and my dad going through things, life happening, and then me just having to be very independent at a young age. You know, my parents did not have money to send me to college, and I wasn't going to just not go. You know, I had to find a way, and with perseverance and drive and grit, I always like just had that from my upbringing, from, you know, the people that I was surrounded by, which was my family, to tell me like, well, you don't have another option, so you just have to figure it out almost. And then unfortunately, like I was saying before, I developed anxiety and this depression later on, like throughout college. I don't know how, but we never know why. And I feel like I also am not, I feel like I'm almost kind of thankful for that, because, you know, it gives me, you know, that constant push, knowing that everything will be okay, but life is always going to happen. Like we were just talking about before, like what Nay was talking about as well. But, you know, going through these things and going through life, but learning from that, I guess, which is what we all go through. But for me, I don't know. I just feel like I said, it's kind of like, it's so basic to me. I don't know. I never settle. And that's just been my mindset for so long. Once I want something, I'm going to figure out how to get it, no matter how long it takes me. So I guess that's really it.
Oh my gosh. I love how you guys are just being so like transparent right now. And really nothing you're saying is not anything any of us don't know. I'll be honest with you. I read a quote last week that says, when opportunity is knocking, don't be surprised when work answers the door. And I thought of each of you guys, the work ethic that each of you stand for and put forth, oh my gosh, it's like a whole nother level. And I find that people often want what you have, but they're not willing to do what you do day in and day out, you know? And you guys are, I think my aha for the night is be obsessed or be average. And you guys have chosen to be obsessed. And you're certainly not landing on the average button. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I can't let you guys get off the phone, or our participants is the technical name for it, would kill me, because you have to tell me like what's working for you right now to get enrollments? And it might be super simple, but we need to hear it. And Cassie, I'm going to start with you. You're the boss here.
I've always done the same thing. I'm 100% Instagram, so like that's what I do. For me right now, Instagram story is amazing. I feel like posting on that all the time is working great, even more than just posting on my actual feed. And I've always been a big messenger. That's all we all do. So I message every single day. And that's how I sign up all of my loyal customers. And we sign up customers every single day. Like I signed up 4 today before this Zoom. So I never like to go to bed without signing at least one customer. I'm sure they feel the exact same way. But that's basically all I do. There's really nothing like special to it. I always do the same thing. But Insta Story has definitely been a game changer for me.
How if I'm listening tonight and I'm like, okay, I'm doing Insta Story every day. How do I get more people watching my Insta Story? What do I do to make that happen?
You just have to post on it more often. More people are going to see your Instagram story than they're going to see your posts. So I post like a lot of before and after pictures on there because it's not spammy, and then you could do polls as well. You can get like really, really creative with it.
So I don't have to friend more people. I don't have to follow more people. I just have to get more active using hashtags and some of the features on the Insta Story, like choices.
Only the people following you can see your Insta Story, but like when you see how many people have viewed it, it's a lot of people. So now with the way the algorithm is, I think more people are seeing the stories and they're actually seeing the posts.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you, Cassie. All right, Nayara, how about you? What is working for you right now when it comes to enrollments? Give us something different.
Okay, so I basically do the same things as Cass, but what I have changed a little bit within the last couple of months is I used to just follow up on Fridays. So I would like sit down on Fridays and follow up for like hours in a day. And sometimes I wouldn't even get through all my like past week or like past couple of weeks follow-ups because it was just so many people. So what I've been doing every single day is I follow up every day. So the people who I talk to today, I always try to sign up people on the spot. Like that's my thing. Like if I message them on Instagram, I get their number, I text them, I always try to enroll them on the spot. But if I don't, so the people I talked to today who didn't answer me, tonight when I get home, I'm going to open up my planner tomorrow, and I'm going to write down every single person I talked to today who didn't answer me. So then tomorrow I'm going to follow up with those people just because it's been really fresh in their mind since we just talked today. And this is something I've been doing since January. I got a new planner that is like a whole day that is like one page because like I have so many numbers that I have to write down. And I don't know if it's in my head or if it's like really just because I got more organized with my follow-ups. I've been enrolling so many customers from like following up every day and being organized, just because before I would just say, okay, I'm going to follow up. And then like tomorrow would come and like I would just get caught up with so many other things in the business and I would just like forget to follow up. But like having my planner, I open it up, like I see all those numbers, I have to follow up with all those people. So within that like 20 minutes that I'm following up, I'm not messaging or posting or answering to anyone, and I'm just focusing on my follow-ups. And, you know, every month I've been averaging like 60 to 70 customers. And I feel like it has like so much to do with just me writing down those people and sitting down and following up with them every single day.
And I'm going to add a little clarity only because I'm guessing, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I followed Jade for a while, and Jade is like, we talk every single day. I know she's watching this right now because she's so proud of you guys. But you guys literally write down everybody, whether you friend, follow, like, or comment on your day's planner, right? So that when you go to follow up, you look at everybody you talk to on that day to make sure you follow up with all of them, right? Aren't you like...
What I do is like, let's say today I've talked to a ton of people, you know, I've got a couple customers, and the people who did not answer me today, I'm going to go home tonight, open up my planner, and I'm going to write down their number. I'm just going to scroll through my text really fast and just write down the people who didn't answer me today. And then I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow. Just because, like I said, like I was just following up every Friday, and it was kind of like, I would wait a week to talk to these people again. And then it was like so overwhelming because I was talking to so many people. So I would never get through all the follow-ups, and it was just unorganized. So I tried to get organized with following up every day and talking to the people I talked to the day before, the next day, right away. And, you know, I'm literally signing up so many customers from that just because, you know, it's not people aren't really ignoring you. Sometimes they are, but like sometimes people get busy or they're doing something at the time and they just forget to respond. You know, like me, I sometimes open up messages and forget to respond, and I'm on my phone 24/7. So I can't even imagine someone who's not. So, you know, tomorrow I'm going to open up my planner. I mean, tomorrow's Fall Out Friday. So that's like a huge day. But let's say tomorrow was just Tuesday. I'm just going to sit down, open up my planner, and follow up with the people I talked to on Monday. So that's all on my planner for Tuesday. And it's been like a game changer for me for sure. You know, obviously I post a lot on my stories, and that's gotten me so much interaction. And I message every single day, and that's how I enroll. But following up every single day has been a game changer for my business for sure.
Thank you for sharing that, Nayara.
No problem.
By the way, you guys, I just bought both those books you recommended. Amazon has already got it on its way. I wonder how many people that are listening are doing the same thing. All right. How about you, Miss Emily? What's working for you right now? What can you share with us that hasn't been said?
I actually was laughing because Nay and I were hanging out the other day talking about using a planner and organizing, and both of these girls know, and a lot of people know, that I am very unorganized. But what works for me works. And then I realized Nay's enrolling a lot more customers than me, and I'm like, oh, well, I should probably organize and use a planner because I've known this since day one. So I have to get over my fear of it because it's a silly fear and it's so simple. But I also still do enroll a lot. So it just goes to show that the work that I'm putting in is super important, and that is cold messaging, reaching out to people. I'm so big with that. Honestly, I don't sit back and wait for people to come to me. Even if this algorithm thing did not exist and we still are posting 8 to 10 times a day, I would still be reaching out to people. That's just me, you know, and I'm not someone who's super outgoing. Like, I'm not one to really like walk up to people and like blitz them in person, but I don't know. For me, social media, it just helps so much. So I am not afraid whatsoever to go and just message people and just reach out to them there. And obviously stepping in your comfort zone, and me, you know, gradually over time, it is a lot easier for me to, you know, walk up to someone in person and blitz them in person is easier now. But it's really just reaching out to people, you know, not waiting for them to come to you, and consistency every single day of reaching out to those people. I can't emphasize that enough. And kind of just, you know, what's something I think that is different and what wasn't brought up is, like, if you're someone who does use social media changes every 5 or 6 months. Like, there are changes all the time. And even if media itself doesn't change, you know, society changes. I don't know, like clothing changes, the way, like, you know, we get polls on Instagram, and just everything changes. So you kind of have to figure out like what people are into maybe, or what people want to see. So I guess like the marketing aspect of it, that's kind of important. I mean, not kind of, it is important as well. So I forgot the name of his book, but I forgot to tell you about Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, yeah.
So he has a book. He's really into social media. He is definitely another level.
He has some language, you guys. Just be prepared. Yes. He's from New York, and he sounds like he's from New York.
Yep, every other word, for sure.
But I got to sit in a conference with him in a room with about 50 people one time, and he is totally no filter in person, too.
Nope. That is for sure. But he knows his social media, and everything that I'm saying is what like he talks about and teaches as well. So just like little aspects of that I do, and I try to learn here and there, because I'm not really a creative person myself. But that's really it. What Cassie and Nay said. I mean, I learned everything from Cassie, and then I just, you know, go with the flow.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to put a couple things out there. For those of you that are totally intimidated by social media, keep in mind, the way they're talking about cold messaging people is exactly what a blitz is, a belly-to-belly blitz. And so there's online blitzing and there's belly-to-belly blitzing. If you walk up to a complete stranger and like strike up a conversation and hand them a blitz card, that's exactly what they're doing on social. Exact same thing. Both are important. And I love what you said, Emily. It's like doing the cold messaging has made you more confident to do it in person. And either one you're doing or both, you should be doing it every day consistently, and then using Nayara's recommendation to follow up every single day. Every single day. When you hand out a Blitz card, get their information, or friend them or follow them on social, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, because that relationship is going to continue from there. And so it's the same thing. Host a Post blew my mind, ladies, because it's just old school asking for referrals. That's it. It's asking for referrals through social marketing. So it's all that online cold messaging is blitzing a complete stranger. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Such solid tips. All right, Cassie, I'm going to let you close it out because you are the leader here, and I am just excited to get to know you more and more and more. Did you ladies get your green carpet tickets for Bradenton by chance, all three of you? Any chance I might be able to get you on stage if I try? Look at that face. We'll talk about it offline. Okay, but seriously, okay, so anything else you want to add, Cassie, like as we're closing it out, like you're leaving us with final thoughts? Wrap it up.
One thing I would add is obviously we're human, like we're always going to get into funks, even if we're always positive, but the biggest tip would be to never let your funk last longer than a day or so, just because I feel like a lot of people like get into ruts and they let it like prolong, and that just turns into like a downward spiral of just like bad things. So my biggest thing is just try to nip it in the butt and do some personal development and get out of it, because it's so much harder to get back on track after so much time has gone by versus just like one day. So always just try to keep yourself in check, be self-disciplined, and get out of it if you do fall into it.
That's right. And if you're like, yeah, but how? I'm in a funk. How do you do that? Listen, y'all, if you wait till you feel like it, you'll never feel like it. You got to do it and the feelings will follow. And so you just got to have the discipline day in and day out. That's what separates the losers from the winners. I was going to say something else, but I decided to make it PG. So you guys, I appreciate you so much. And you just poured into us like crazy for an hour, and I'm so thankful. It didn't kill you, did it?
No.
You got stronger today. I'm really proud of you. I'm sorry about your inboxes. They're about to blow up. You're about to gain about 1 million new friends and followers, and there you go. That's because you're awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. You're very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll get this.
Thanks for having us on.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye.